first set of techniques is going to be for active listening in conversations. And so generally active listening is mostly taught for employers or speaking to your employers, and it's about engaging in conversation. And so generally the techniques for active listening revolve around conversations, but they can be employed in the classroom in regards to your professor. But these ones are specifically for conversations. So the first one is going to be restating and summarizing. And so when you're having a conversation with someone, especially if you're receiving instructions, one of the really helpful techniques is to restate or summarize what the other has said. So when you're summarizing someone else's thoughts, it's really helpful to put it in your own words to make it more memorable for you. And you can start that off by saying, so what I'm hearing you say is yada yada yada, or so my next steps are blank blank blank. This is really helpful. Say if you were seeing your success coach and you were trying to change your major or something, and obviously that would take a few steps. And so my next steps are to go talk to the academic coordinator, then go on E-Line or whatever the case is, right? And so that would help you. And if they heard something wrong, then they could correct you, which is really important. Or if you had it right, then that would help cement it in your mind. Another helpful technique is giving feedback and clarifying. And so when you give feedback, you're letting the speaker know your thoughts on the information that they've presented. And so instead of just saying whatever you're thinking, giving feedback includes taking their points of view into consideration and responding thoughtfully. So this is really important. Say if you're meeting with your faculty member in office hours, you want to let them know that you've digested what they've said and thought about it and have given a clear response. And so this helps the speaker know that you're listening. It will help build rapport. It'll make it seem, or it will be that you are actually paying attention to them, so that's good. And that's a lot of the times a pretty important part of building relationships with your faculty members. Clarifying is when you ask the speaker if you understand their thoughts or instructions correctly. So when you give your thoughts or are clarifying areas that you're unsure of, it lets the speaker know that you're invested in what they're saying. And that helps build trust and appreciation. Now, another helpful tool in active listening is to use things called minimal encouragers or validation. So minimal encouragers, and a lot of people do this without really knowing that there's a name for it, but they let the speaker know that you understand what they're saying, and it encourages them to continue. And so the general ones are just saying okay or just to let the person know that you're listening. The more specific you can be, the more invested the conversation the speaker will be, and they'll believe that you're more invested as well. And so those would be if they're telling a story or something, say, and then what happened? Then okay. Or saying I understand to what they're asking of you. Validation is a little bit different. That's when you are listening and you're letting the speaker know that you're empathizing with what they're saying. And so this is might be a little bit more geared towards speaking with your peers in a group setting or something along those lines. But it's essentially listening and letting the speaker know that you have an open mind and that they can say their piece. So one of the key aspects of active listening and what that can help you do is ask more effective questions when you're having a conversation with someone. And so once the speaker's finished, it's important to ask the right kind of questions that will either continue the conversation or get you the information that you're looking for from the speaker. So if they didn't answer your initial question, you can attempt to rephrase that or segue off of something that they already said. So you could say, oh, about whatever you were talking about earlier, could you clarify this point and this point for me? Or I need a little bit more information on X, Y, and Z. And so the more specific you can be, the better information you'll get, and the more specific of an answer you'll get. And it's the best if you can reference something that they've already said, and that shows them that you were listening and that you just need a little bit more information. And so that is a really good tactic when you're having a conversation with someone, be it a professor, be it a success coach, be it your student, be it a tutor. But lets them know that you were invested, you were listening, and you just need a little bit more clarification. And people are more than happy to help in that instance, as long as they know that you were paying attention in the first place.